Well, this month marks the 30th anniversary of the 1995 Quebec referendum on sovereignty. And a new Léger poll taken for the Journal de Montréal shows supporting Quebec for another referendum is just not there. Joining us now to discuss this for Léger is Sébastien Dallaire. So, Sébastien, you looked at a number of things, starting with which party would win if there was an election today, and the PQ remains strongly in the lead at 36%. But one of their key planks, if elected, a sovereignty referendum in the first mandate, is still not that popular.
Exactly. Right now, what Quebecers are telling us is they're not really ready to go into another referendum. You know, a big portion of the population did not live the prior one. That was 30 years ago. So if you're 45 or 40 or under, you don't remember or were not even born when it happened. So a lot of Quebecers haven't really lived through it, and those who have are not necessarily much keener to also have a new referendum. So that's a big obstacle for the Parti québécois at this stage.
Yes, 65% of your respondents said they were against it, only 35% for. Not only that, but almost 60% said they don't even want a referendum between now and 2030.
And we know historically, for those who remember 1995 or before, that often it's the referendum itself that triggers the biggest reaction. Voters are not necessarily keen into going into those emotional debates about the future of the country. What are we going to do if Quebec separates? What are going to be the impact? So it's the notion of the referendum itself that tends to trigger more deeply emotional responses. And we're seeing this in the survey, that the idea of a referendum is not very popular.
Yeah, even the idea of Quebec becoming a country one day doesn't seem to excite people. It actually seems to worry them, according to what you found.
Yes, there's more worry than excitement, and that's pretty clear number. And the numbers tend to match the balance of who's in favor versus who is opposed. But you see that even among people who didn't really take a position on the referendum itself, it's mostly worry. There's very little excitement at the idea of having a country at this stage, aside from those who are favorable to sovereignty. So there's going to be a lot of work in front of the Parti québécois and Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon to convince more Quebecers that this is a good idea and this is what we should embark on at this stage.
So what do you think Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon is thinking today with these numbers? And do you think Donald Trump has had anything to do with any of this? People feeling more nervous in general about the future?
Donald Trump probably played somewhat of a role. I mean, he did play a role in creating more Canadian patriotism. So that's for sure. We've measured that over the past year. His arrival really changed the landscape, and it affected Quebec politics as well. And what we have seen is a bit of a generational shift among people who favor or oppose sovereignty. For the past few decades, for the past couple of decades, especially, what we've seen was older Quebecers who were really carrying this movement forward, with older Quebecers being more favorable because they had lived through the first one, and those who were favorable remained favorable, and younger generations were trailing behind in terms of support for sovereignty. But this has pretty much evened out right now, with older Quebecers maybe backing off a little bit because they are more concerned. And you see this in the results when we ask about excitement versus concern. Older Quebecers are more worried about the potential impact of sovereignty. And we know they've been the most worried group about the economy and about jobs and about the future in recent months. So this is definitely playing a role. Whereas for younger Quebecers who may have less to lose, and we know right now, for example, unemployment is up among younger cohorts, it may be a chance to shake up the system a little bit. So maybe that's why we see a little bit of a shift in generations.
Yeah. Always interesting to talk with you. Sébastien Dallaire, thanks so much for your time.
Always a pleasure.